Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of A Matter of Life and Dev. In this episode, we decided to combine Mendix releases 8.6 and 8.7 into one video.
Yep.
I'm Paul Ketelaars.
And I'm Willem van Zandvoort.
And let's get started.
Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing that we saw in the release notes of Mendix 8.6 is the option to revert all changes.
Yeah.
I kind of like this feature.
Yeah, me too. You shouldn't have to use it that often, I would say, but...
But for example, yesterday I was trying to solve a bug, and
you solved the bug.
Eventually, I solved the bug, but what happened is I made changes in I don't know 6 or 7 microflows, added a parameter, and then what you have to do if you want to revert it, you have to manually do all those things, and I kind of like the fact that you don't have to do that anymore.
True.
So I think this is a very good new feature.
Nice. One thing that's been discussion in the Mendix community is the possibility to color your microflow activities.
Yep.
Personally, I'm not a fan.
No,
I like my microflow activities just the way they are, light blue. But for those of you who like to color your microflow activities, you now can. You can set defaults for each type of activity. So for example, you can select creation of variables to be yellow. So you can customize your entire microflow.
Yeah, you can make it a clown fest.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I remember like 5 or 6 years ago when I was starting out, I didn't have a lot of, how do you say that, structure in my microflows. So when you're doing that and you're building like these enormous microflows, it's kind of nice to...
Yeah, so you're used to coloring to pick out certain elements, like this is a sub microflow call or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
But now that I'm kind of used to creating more function-like microflows, I didn't see the use for this for myself, but I do see the use for this in the community.
Okay, cool. Another thing that's nice, and this is actually in Mendix 8.6, is the fact that we now have Bootstrap 4 functionality in our layout grid, for example. So you can auto fill your column weights. Yeah. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, I guess so. What I read is that you don't have to add all columns up to 12 anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You can combine. You can mix and match.
Yeah.
So, for example, you can have a weight of 6 or 12, and then auto-fill the rest.
That's a much requested feature, I think.
Absolutely.
I remember seeing it a bunch of times in the ID forum. So, kudos.
What I especially like best is the fact that you can also vertically align within a layout column. So that is also, I think, heavily requested because I've seen the question been asked a lot.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Yep.
Cool. Next up.
Yeah.
A big one. A much requested feature from our end users is when they fill out an input field, they want to press enter to, well, commit their changes, go to the next screen, whatever.
Search.
And there were some widgets for it, the shortcut widget.
Keyboard shortcut, on enter widgets.
Yeah. And it's now in Studio Pro.
Yeah.
So you can have like you have an on change, you can have an on enter key press.
I guess. Yeah.
Widget.
It's in the text box widget.
Yeah.
That I know for sure. And it solves a lot of. Well, it doesn't really solve anything, but it's a really nice delighter.
It's a really nice delighter. Yeah. Our end users will be happy, and we as well, because we don't have to use a custom widget anymore.
True. Yeah. Every time that I press an enter on a search box, I go like, yes, it works.
Yeah.
So it is good that this is now a feature.
Yeah.
Another new feature that's been introduced in 8.7 is the option to suppress warnings. Yeah, it's I don't know if you should want to suppress your warnings, that's...
I get it, but we have some people here that would kill me if I would have any warnings in my project.
Yeah.
So we have a...
we have like a policy, we have coding guidelines where we...
No warnings,
no
not
warnings.
even in App Store modules.
Exactly.
So...
but this is a nice way to quickly get rid of them.
Don't tell them.
It's,
but I get it, right? Because yesterday we've been working on the same project and we've been maintaining our warnings at 0. But yesterday I had to develop some new functionality which required the Excel exporter, and I imported that module, and voila, 411 warnings.
Yeah.
So I had to manually fix all those warnings again to adhere to our policy.
And 411.
That's a lot of warnings.
That's a lot of work.
So I get it, but the warnings are there for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
be mindful of it.
Yeah.
I get why you would suppress some warnings.
Yeah, true.
And maybe in your project you don't have the time to fix them.
But to be honest, the way that they built this is very robust, because you can actually develop also kind of rules that your warnings should match before they get suppressed. So I think you should be able to create a very sophisticated suppression algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So that's pretty cool. It's not just simply a checkbox, suppress all warnings. It's way more than that. So
true. I think Mendix did well on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
On to the improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a few that we think are worth mentioning.
Yeah.
One of them is the fact that the connector pane has been rebuilt.
Yep.
That's nice because we see Mendix 8 evolving visually.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that all the functionalities that you have in the Project Explorer, etc., are now usable throughout the entire modeler.
You might have to enable this, by the way, in your edit menu, edit preferences, and then the new features tab. But yeah, it's great that they create this one look across the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Another thing that's been changed is the language switcher. It's no longer hidden in the menu, but it's in the bottom right of your screen. Yep. You can easily switch between your languages, and they even added keyboard shortcuts.
Yep.
I think it's
Control L
and Control Shift L.
Yep.
To switch your languages. So
multi-language app
multilingual
developers
apps
will be very happy with this. Yeah. Another thing that I think is a nice improvement is the fact that in the date picker in the calendar you now have a class that you can add on the date picker widget that highlights today's day. Some functionality that I think I'm used to in almost every application that I use. So it's great that this has been added as well.
One thing I just thought of right now is, why did they create a class for it and not a property like highlight current date? Yes, no. In the properties window of the date picker.
It's a good question.
Answers, anyone?
Yeah.
But anyway, carry on.
On to the next.
Yeah. This I use all the time. Template parameters in text box, whatever.
Messages, validation feedback.
Yeah. So the bracket, one bracket.
It's a fish bracket. Oh, I don't know what's it called. The bracket is
squiggly line. One squiggly line.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things get highlighted now, so they turn bluish.
Yeah.
So it's easy to stand out as, hey, that's a template parameter.
I think it's nice.
It improves the readability.
Yeah,
cool.
True. We also see an improvement in the export mapping, where you have persistent associated objects. What Mendix first would do is retrieve them one by one, and they are now retrieved in batches, so that should improve export time.
So not as much database calls.
Exactly. Yeah,
nice.
That's a really good improvement, I think, especially if you export a lot of things, a lot of objects, then this will greatly benefit your performance.
Nice. Next up is a change to pluggable widgets. Not the pluggable widget itself, but actually importing it in a page in Studio Pro. When you right-click a widget, you can now have quick access to your widget properties. For example, you can quickly select microflows or attributes.
Okay.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So the one thing is you're missing the descriptions, because when you open the widget itself, you get all these extra information about what you should select and what the properties would do.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't have them in the context menu, but if you know what a widget does and you just quickly need to select an attribute, it'll help.
Okay, nice improvement.
Yeah.
So the last improvement that we want to mention is again MxAssist.
Yeah.
We continuously see improvements being made to MxAssist, and that's a good thing. What they now do is they have create list activities added, log messages, feedback, validation feedback. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I think, especially for MxAssist in the stage where it's at right now, log messages and validation feedback are, I think, one of the main reasons why MxAssist is so powerful. There is one big deprecation that we have to mention, I think, and that's the fact that model share will be deprecated. I don't know how many of you used it. I checked it out a few times and I saw things being uploaded there, so what they will do in the future,
and this is big,
that's really nice, is cross-project copy-paste. So yeah, that's very good. I can't wait for this to come to Studio Pro, because this is a feature that I've been waiting for so long.
They should port this back to Mendix 7 as well.
Oh, that would be great.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Now on a final note, Mendix has dubbed 8.6 as the stable Mendix 8 release. So any high priority issues that are fixed in Mendix 7.23 will also be fixed in Mendix 8.6 in a patch release. So if you want to use Mendix 8, go use 8.6 or higher.
Yeah, agree.
And that's it.
That's it
for this video.
It was a good list of features and improvements.
I agree.
I'm really happy with.
Still looking forward to my first Mendix 8 project.
True. Yeah, with this and the fact that we now have a stable release.
Yeah.
I think it's the moment is coming
closer
where we actually will make production apps in Mendix 8. Yeah.
Can't wait. There are a lot of cool features I want to play with.
Absolutely. I'm quite curious if any of our viewers maybe already have projects in Mendix 8 and what they think of it.
Let us know.
Yeah, so please let us know.
Run into any issues or have anything like, wow, this is such a big improvement over Mendix 7. Leave a comment, send us a message.
Yep.
We're curious to find out.
True. So that being said, I think it's time to close off the video, huh?
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank all of you for watching again. We hope to see you again next month, and be on the lookout because there are some special videos coming. So like, subscribe, and
see you
next time.